Welcome, 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 Hattiesburg, and a pleasant day to all our listeners. This is Abby, your host for Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm here to bring you updates, news, and more from our community. To add to all the excitement today, we have the Mississippi Moments with Powell Ogletree and a news wrap with Nishrika Opel-Creel. To ensure you're up to date with the hottest topics. And guess what? We have a very special guest for you, Mark Grigsby, the head of the Art and Design Department. You definitely want to stay tuned for what they have to share with us today. But before we jump into all the fun, here's a quick message from our sponsor. So hang tight, we'll be right back with more Southern Miss Radio Today. Keep it tuned right here.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back, folks. In campus news, Friday night at Spirit Park is this Friday. Join in on the Southern Miss tradition of kicking off our first home game weekend. Enjoy the numerous food trucks and entertainment from DJ Dragon. The celebration will take place in Spirit Park on Friday, September 6th from 7 to 9 p.m. Be sure to stop by. In Hattiesburg news, the mayor of Hattiesburg, Toby Barker, as well as our other city officials, dedicated the public safety complex in honor of the former mayor, Johnny L. Dupree. Dupree was Hattiesburg's first African-American mayor, as well as the longest-running mayor in history. The complex will now honor his name and legacy. In Mississippi news, a Mississippi bus crashed, killing 7 people and injured 37 others. The crash occurred on Saturday east of Vicksburg, Mississippi. The National Transportation Safety Board and the Mississippi Highway Patrol conducted an investigation on the accident. The crash has been determined to be caused by tire failure. Please keep these people in your hearts. In international news, a new show opened in the Indian capital, Delhi. The show displays a collection of early photographs of monuments throughout the country. The photographs are from the 1850s and 1860s, displaying the experimentation of architecture at the time. The images capture amazing moments in history. That's your news update from Southern Miss Today. We'll have the latest sports and weather, so stay tuned. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Southern Miss Student Media is how USM communication students put their education into action. The student prints, Southern Miss Radio, SMTV, and SM2 Creative are the media properties operated by Southern Miss Student Media. You can get your share of the more than $600 million USM brings to the area with help from Southern Miss Student Media. To find out more about how to reach the USM audience, email sm2sales@usm.edu.
Welcome back with our action-packed sports segment. Let's dive into the latest scores, highlights, and sports. Get your jerseys on because it's game time. The Southern Miss Eagles will be playing the Southeastern Lions at The Rock on this weekend, Saturday, September 7th. This will be the first home game of the season. Head to southernmiss.com to keep up with the Golden Eagles sports activities. As for weather today, look for a low of 74 with a 50% chance of rain and a high of 92. Tomorrow, look for a low of 74 and a high of 85 with a 35% chance of rain. Up next, we have Mississippi Moments produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage. Powell Ogletree, the first secretary of the Alumni Association on recruiting students. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Powell Ogletree was hired as the first Southern Miss Alumni Association secretary in 1953. He recalls taking an active role in recruiting new students during those early years.
Being the first alumni secretary, you see, I had to build a program from start to finish. I was fairly young at the time, so about half of my time, the first 2 or 3 years, was spent in recruiting. We used our alumni body very effectively in recruiting students all over. And I would go into high school, and our alumni in that area would let it be known in the school that a representative from Southern was there to talk to them. Anybody wants to go to room so-and-so. So I'd talk to them 30, 40 minutes, answer their question, give them out the material. But I'd go in and give them the message, but those teachers are there every day of the year. I went into nearly all the junior colleges of the state. We would invite prospective students to our alumni meetings in Forest Canyon, Mobile, and all over the country. You see, just worked very closely with them, and it helped.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was your Mississippi Moments for today. Coming up, we have the pleasure of hearing from Wilbur, our Mississippi Student Media Director.
Kinda. Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages.
Kind of. No, I'm just the director for WSM. That's all right. No worries.
Half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by
Don't worry about it. It's all right.
water to your door.
You mean
To get
just
more
spit like
information or to set up a
random
cooler and water
questions
delivery,
at
you can
I'm
call
sorry?
Mississippi
Just spit
Beverages
random, like,
601
student media
271
questions at you.
24.
Yeah, kind of what we talked about last week, right?
United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in our community. To learn more or get involved, call 601-545-7141. We have one life. To live better, we must live united.
We must live united. We live united.
Now please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Wilbur. Hey Wilbur, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am Dr. Wilbur Martin. I am the director of WSM, so I'm the faculty advisor for everything that goes on here. And WSM is one of the entities that operates under Southern Miss Student Media.
Okay.
And that is a platform for students to learn about media and about how to present media and different things such as that. But also, it's an opportunity for students to listen in and learn about what's going on campus and what is happening in their world. So it's a place for students to be involved both in the creation of media as well as disseminating stories about USM, but it's also a place for students to be able to kind of see and hear what sort of stories are affecting them.
Okay, what is SM2 and how do you get involved?
SM2 is sort of our cute, although I guess it's not that cute if no one knows what it is. It's our sort of shorthand way of saying Southern Miss Student Media. SM2 being that Southern Miss Student Media, SMSM, SM square is just sort of the shorthand. So what's so funny, here's what I've noticed about the public. No matter what you call something, they're going to call it what makes sense to them. So, for instance, the show that we're in the middle of is Southern Miss Today. We started doing the show in 2009. Late 2009. And so it's about 15 years, right there, right? Or shortly will be anyway. And no one ever says, hey, I'd like to be a guest on Southern Miss Today. They never say that. They say, I want to be on that noon show. That's what it's called. So Southern Miss Student Media, we call it, and people say, I want to do media. It's like, oh, okay, it's Southern Miss Student Media. Come be a part of that. So no matter what we want to call it, people are going to call it whatever makes sense to them or whatever they can remember or anything else. So, yeah, it's SM2 is Southern Miss Student Media.
Okay.
So there's the very long-winded answer for what is SM2.
On the topics of the types of media that SM2 produces, what exactly different types of media does SM2 produce?
Okay. Pretty much the keystone, the cornerstone of what we do with Southern Miss Student Media is starting with the oldest type of media that's available, and that's print. The Student Prints, as an entity, was named such in 1927, but it actually started in 1919, I believe, back when it was Southern Normal College. It was, USM was initially a teacher's college, and that was the sort of newsletter that went out about the college. But in 1927, there was a musical play, something that had a lot of popularity, and it was called The Student Prince. And it was about a college student who was actually a prince, like a prince being the son of a king, as such, royalty. And the editor of the Student Prince at the time decided it would be cute to call it Prince, P-R-I-N-T-Z, as in this is the Student Prince, the prince for the print text for the students. And Dr. Simpson, the director of the school, would not love nothing better than to change the name. He hates it. But I think people would revolt if that happened. So there's the very beginning of it is the Student Prince, which is sort of the cornerstone for what we do. Second in line is WSM, what people are listening to now. WSM was started in 1954. Initially, it was a 10-watt AM station that used the electrical wiring of Southern Hall as an antenna, which is kind of crazy, but still kind of cool. Very, very limited footprint. Pretty much just the Southern Miss campus would be covered by WUSM at that point, so you really couldn't pick it up necessarily in the community. Whereas now we're an FM station with 3,000 watts, which is still not huge, but it's about a 30-minute radius versus just the radius of the campus. So you have a significant amount of footprint available for the people that listen to the radio and do whatnot. Funny, one of the things that one of the music appreciation, I guess is what they called it at the time, music appreciation professor would coordinate with the radio station and say, play some sort of piece, play the Stravinsky Firebird Suite this afternoon at 3 or something. And so when they had a music appreciation class, he would always give extra points for students that could tell him what was playing on WUSM at whatever time and whatever he'd said that. So I thought that was kind of funny. Beyond that, most everything else is fairly new. The Student Media Center as a whole is fairly new, really. The idea for it was birthed back in 2009, 2010, but it really didn't kind of come to fruition and sort of become an entity until around 2020. And really it's just now starting to really fledgling out of the nest, if we're going to use the eagle metaphor. It's just really starting to actually take off. A couple of the newer entities that we've got under Southern Miss Student Media is SMTV, Southern Miss TV, and that's a weekly news broadcast that covers not only campus events, but also events in the USM community and Mississippi in general, and that sort of thing. That typically is taped. Well, I say taped. Nobody uses tape anymore. It's recorded. It's digitally captured on Wednesday night, and then it is released on Thursday morning. And there's a YouTube channel for Southern Miss Student Media that's released on. In fact, I'm streaming right now, and or Southern Miss Today streaming right now, and this will be as part of the Southern Miss Student Media channel on YouTube as well. In addition to the Prince, WSM, and SMTV, we've got SM2 Creative, which SM2 Creative is the production for commercials for departments here on campus, as well as commercial ventures outside of campus that might want a commercial but not know where to go or how to get it done. If they don't want to pay another production house to do that work, they could pay us to do it, and it would be probably less. I'm not going to go into pricing because that's just not cool, man. But at any rate, In addition, SM2 Creative does video capturing for conferences and different things like that. We've worked on industrial videos. We've done all kind of different things. And anybody wanting any of those services, sm2news.edu, sm2news at usm.edu. That's where you would go to inquire about that. In addition, there's also a strategic communication division of SM2, which that deals with PR, advertising, and different things like that to help the community. They do take community clients, people in the community that are looking to promote some event, or they may want to engage in a social media campaign or something such as that. And they would see where they're going to place the commercials or the sponsor messages if you're talking about WSM. See where they're going to place the videos, see where they're going to place the social media things, and how to come about that. So we've come quite a long way. It's taken a while, but I think we're finally just starting to hop out of the nest and spread our wings and do some flying. So that's good.
Thank you. For those that are listening, or maybe not listening, that are interested in anything you just said, who can work for SM2?
We try to limit the people that are working with SM2 to USM students, because this is here for students to create media. That's part of it. And we would hope that more students that are in the media and communication school would take advantage of this. However, it's certainly not limited to that. In fact, you are not a media and communication major, right?
No, I am not.
What's your major?
Biological forensic science.
So why are you doing this?
I wanted a job, but I didn't want a job that was just basically lineup work, like doing busy work. I wanted something that was similar to what I did in high school, that was providing information for my peers.
And so you hosted a news program at your high school, right?
Yes, I did announcements, and I also worked with any of the news announcements that needed to be done in the mornings.
Like what would that sort of entail?
Any sports that we were announcing. I also announced anything for the choir that I was in, robotics, or any other small groups that weren't commonly brought to attention.
So even though you're not specifically media and communication, you've got that background and you wanted to continue to expand on that, and you had the skills to do that. It's something you enjoy doing. So anyone that was a student that had the same or similar background should come over here. We're in College Hall, third floor, basically. 303 is where the radio studio is. 301 is the Southern Student Media office. Dr. Jason Beverly is the director of SM2. Anyone that wanted to be involved, there's a volunteer form on the School of Media and Communication website under USM's hierarchy, or jason.beverly@usm.edu. That's the director's email. My email is wilbur.martin, that's WILBUR, don't get it wrong, .martin@usm.edu. And, or you could email me, and I could kind of go with that as well. So anyone could really be involved if you're a USM student. We're trying to limit it to USM students as much as we value our community partners. This is more of a laboratory for the students to sort of learn, and that's kind of what we're more interested in promoting.
Okay. Speaking about working at SM2, what would a student need to do to get involved here?
Well, the volunteer form, like I mentioned, that's the easiest way. That goes to all of the people that are in faculty leadership positions in the Student Media Center. Those would be Dr. Jason Beverly, who's the director, myself, Wilbur Martin, I'm the faculty advisor for WUSM. Dalton Stanford is faculty advisor for USM Creative, SM2 Creative, sorry, and SM2 TV or SMTV. And Gary Wolverton, who is also helps with the prints and SMTV as well. So we've all of the people that are involved as far as faculty advisors all have significant media experience professionally, and so hopefully the students that are a part of this, like Michaela, who is the video producer for today, you want to come and get on camera and say hi to everyone? You don't have to, but you can. But see students like Michaela, who's walking around now from the video production board, is for her to get experience doing this in sort of a more laid back learning environment versus the much more pressured environment that would run into in a media film. If Michaela was in a television media studio, it would certainly be a lot different. And hopefully the experience that she's getting, the experience that all the people that are engineers, Justin Ware being the engineer for today, the experience that they're getting, Shania Williams being program director, Adeline Fields being producer, the experience that they're getting, they'll be able to transfer into the real world. And I hate to say that because we wake up in the real world every day. It just, different levels. People have different levels of what they consider good. But I think it's a great way for students to get this experience, so when they step into a professional career, that they're not blindsided, or they are not they're not getting things thrown at them that they're not expecting. Or hopefully this thing is available for us to be able to give the expectations to the students and whatnot.
Awesome. Thank you, Wilbur, for coming in today and providing insight on SM2. If you're
Hey, look, it's Dr. Martin, and don't you forget it.
Dr.
I'm kidding.
He told us to call him Wilbur. Don't listen to him. He told us to call him that.
And never pay attention to me at all.
Yeah, don't listen to him.
Unless I say listen to me, and then don't pay attention to me then either. So
I don't know, figure it out, I guess. If you're a student and you're interested in SM2 in any way, please reach out. We want to provide any experience to anyone that needs it. Coming up, we've got Nishrika Pokhrel reporting on AI use in USM academia.
bye, y'all.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the ability of a computer or a robot controlled by a computer to do tasks that are usually done by humans because they require human intelligence.
Elena walk in,
Artificial intelligence has been a central topic of discussion in academia for the past couple of years because of the increasingly easy access to artificial chatbots. Despite the ever-growing confusion on what the university policy states about the use of AI, the university has not given an official stance yet. According to Dr. Kelly Lester, the Associate Professor for Faculty Success, it is because the university simply views AI as a tool that exists.
I really don't think that we need to have a stance. AI is a tool, and I wouldn't have a stance on, say, a calculator or using a phone. So it's more about what is the tool in my classroom and how are we using it, which is why it's up to each professor.
According to Dr. James Thomas from the Office of Academic Integrity, having an official stance on AI would mean unfairness to at least some majors because of varying roles of AI in different majors.
The response to artificial intelligence and its increase has been really complicated by a couple different things. One of the things that has complicated it is we know that certain fields of study really rely on it. And we can think about things like if you're working in computer science, obviously that could be a tool that you could use. We also know that other areas really don't want to engage within the classroom teaching of those subjects, such as, creative writing, fiction writing. We want it to come from the individual. So that's been a big complication.
To make the issue clear, the university requires every professor to state their policy in their syllabus.
Thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. We are thankful for Justin Ware, our audio engineer, and Michaela Williams, our film producer, for keeping this bird soaring. We especially want to thank our program director, Shania Williams, our executive producer, Oari, our assistant producer, Adeline Fields, and our general manager, Dr. Martin. That's all for today on Southern Miss Radio's activities. Thank you for listening. Remember, fly, eagle, fly. I'm your host, Abby Busgard, signing off. Stay creepy.